Hey class, in the second video on tires, we're going to be taking a look at 3 ways that you can find the tread depth of your tire so that you'll know when it's time to buy a new set of tires. We'll also take a look at tread wear and PSI. Lastly, we'll take a look at tire rotation. In our first video, we took a look at the function of tires. We took a look at some of the parts of a tire, and we took a look at the information that is given on the sidewall of a tire. A quick review, these are some of the parts of the tire that we talked about, like the sidewall that has all the information about the tire, the beads, which is the metal band that runs around the tire. We talked about the wheel itself, or the rim. We talked about the treads, which contact the road. We also talked about belts, body plies, and the liner, which are the essential parts of tire construction. Remember, there's a lot of information that the side of the tire can tell you, like the brand name and the model of the tire. You also have the size of the tire, which is that P-metric information. And there's a variety of other information on the sidewall of your tire that are good to know. It's good practice to periodically inspect your tires to look for anything that can include tread wear, cracks, cuts, and tears. It's good to lift the car off the ground to do that, but you can also look at the tire while the car is on the ground. Looking at the tire, you want to inspect the tread depth. So why is tire tread depth important on a tire? Remember, one of the functions of a tire is to provide adequate traction with the road surface. Tires must give adequate driving, braking, and cornering forces to the road in both good and bad weather. A good set of tires can improve handling. A good set of tires give you a safe stopping distance. And a good set of tires will allow your car to have good traction with the ground. So how does tread depth have to do with these 3 situations? Well, that's what we're going to find out. On this slide, we have a tread depth indicator, which is used to inspect the depth of the tread of your tire. Tire tread depth is measured in 30/2 of an inch, and by using the tread depth tool, you can measure the depth of the treads of your tire. So from the slide, you can see that when tread depth decreases, the distance it takes for your car to stop in wet conditions increases. So having adequate tread depth is important. This car company recommends replacing a tire that is 40/2 or less inch of tread and completely having the tire not be serviced with anything less than 30/2. We're basically talking about the tire getting completely bald, and that's not safe. The more tread you have, the safer your tires are on the road. On slippery pavement, a worn tire gets very little traction, and that'll reduce the ability of your vehicle to stop suddenly. So let's take a look at some other ways you can check the tread depth of your tires. One method of measuring tread depth is using a tread depth gauge. Here's a picture of somebody using the tread depth gauge to insert the gauge into the tread of the tire and being able to check the depth, in this case using millimeters, but on the other side it'll tell you in 30/2 of an inch. As we saw on the other slide, if it's less than 4/32 of an inch, it's time to get yourself a new set of tires. You can pick up this tool at any automotive store. Another method to check the tread wear of your tires are tread wear indicators. You can actually feel little tread wear indicators in the tire. Here I am circling them here. They're also called wear bars. When the tread has worn even with the wear bar, it's time to replace the tire because the tire is now unsafe. And you can actually feel, if you rub your hand across the tire, you'll be able to feel them. Another way to test the tread of your tire is with a penny. Take a penny, put it into the groove of the tire tread, and if you can see the very top of Lincoln's head, the tire tread is too worn and the tire should be replaced. Lincoln's hair is about 2/32 away from the top of the penny. So there's a use for all the pennies you have hanging around in your penny drawer. So as we said, using those different tools, you can find the tread depth of your tire. A good quality set of tires will decrease the stopping distance when you put your foot on the brake. And if you have tire treads that have a tread that's too low, it will increase the wet stopping distance of your car, which could be dangerous in wet, icy situations. Besides tread depth, tires can also tell you some things about your car and whether or not your tires are being worn unevenly. A tire wear pattern, or the area of the tread that's worn off, can usually be studied to determine the cause of abnormal wear to your tire. Maybe you have improper tire inflation, maybe you have ply separation, maybe you have incorrect wheel alignment or a lack of periodic tire rotation. Maybe your tires are out of balance. You want to go ahead and inspect the tire tread and identify any type of issues, maybe steering or suspension issues that you might have. It might be time to replace your tires or rotate your tires if you have some of these issues. Underinflation is where you have too little air in your tires. It's a common problem, and the lower pressure allows the sidewalls to flex upwards and cause the inside of the tire not to wear. This can cause rapid tread wear, loss of fuel economy, and what's called ply separation. Overinflation is also an issue with tires. The high pressure inside the tire can cause the body of the tire to stretch outward, which pushes the center of the tread against the road surface and causes the outer edge to not wear against the road. An overinflated tire provides a rough and hard ride, and it's more prone to impact damage. Some other issues could be caused by a bad alignment, a bad suspension, or bad balancing of the tire. But the tire tread in your tires can tell you a story of how your car is driving. A properly inflated tire is very important because then the full tread area of the tire will touch the road. The tire wear evenly spreads across the tread, and that will increase the life and improve the handling and safety of the vehicle. So when we take a look at tire pressure, we're talking about measuring it in PSI, or pounds per square inch. Now, how much air do you put in your tire? Now, one misconception is to look at the sidewall of your tire. Now, the sidewall of your tire tells you the maximum recommended pressure. However, the ideal PSI for your tire is found in a couple places. One place that you can find it is a label on the door of your car, which will tell you the exact amount of pressure that you want to put in both the front and rear tires of your car. It'll also tell you how much air to put in the spare tire, which might be a little bit different. If you don't have a sticker on the side of your door, you can also look in your owner's manual, or you could look it up online. Some tools you can use is a tire pressure gauge, where you can go ahead and inspect and find out how much air pressure you have in your tire. If you have an air compressor, you can buy yourself some pneumatic tools, and you can buy yourself one of these digital inflators to see how much PSI you're putting in your tires. I love this tool. It's really nice to use. So again, you want to make sure you have the right amount of tire pressure going into your car, and it can average anywhere from 32 to 35 PSI on a car. However, again, a truck, a spare tire, a bicycle are going to have a different number of PSI for the tire. So make sure you check that sticker or the owner's manual and have the right PSI in your tire so it'll last a long time. Most modern cars have what's called a TPMS, or a tire pressure monitoring system, which alerts the driver if one or more of the vehicle's tires are underinflated. Oftentimes, if you see a little light like this on the dashboard, it means that one of your tires is underinflated. This little diagram is showing you an example of the sensor that's actually mounted on the inside of the wheel. When the tire pressure drops below a predetermined value, the sensor in the wheel will then send a signal to a receiver mounted in the passenger compartment. The receiver then turns on a dash light, allowing the driver to know that there is an inflation problem. If you see that light turn on, it's a good chance your tires are low and you need to go fill them up with air. And remember, having properly inflated tires will increase the life of your tire. Another way to help your tires last long is to have what's called a tire rotation. That involves changing the location of the tires on the vehicle, which ensures maximum tire life. You can do this the same time you do your oil change because you typically should rotate your tire every 3,000 miles, which is about the time you should also have the oil change done on your car. Now, depending on what type of car will determine what type of tire rotation you can have. A front-wheel drive car will wear out its front tires more quickly than its rear tires, and a rear-wheel drive vehicle, the rear tires will wear out more quickly. So you've got to go ahead and rotate them according to the diagrams that you see on the screen. The screen has some recommendations for how those tires should be rotated. You can see the differences in rotation for a front-wheel drive car, a rear-wheel drive car, cars that have directional tires, and then cars that have a dual rear wheel. I've posted a couple of videos for you to take a look at so you know when it's time to rotate your tires. Today we took a look at 3 ways that you can find the tread depth of a tire. We talked about the importance of tread depth and PSI, and we also took a look at tire rotation. Thanks for watching.